Today's story is about how quickly a marriage can change when control, money, and family interference enter the picture. It was sent to us by a 28-year-old woman, educated, independent, and newly married, someone who believed she was starting a life built on partnership and mutual respect. What followed instead left her emotionally shaken, financially drained, and questioning everything she thought she knew about her husband and marriage. Let's read what she sent. Hi, I am a 28-year-old, well-educated woman. I got married in November 2024 to a man from the same profession as mine. We met through a matrimonial site in May 2024. During our initial conversations, he openly shared that he was unhappy living with his family and did not want to give me a restrictive or controlled life. He spoke about independence, boundaries, and building a peaceful life together. I believed him. 2 months before marriage, he quit his job and left his city, saying he wanted a fresh start. Our marriage took place with the blessings of both families, and I moved in with him, hopeful and optimistic about our future together. Initially, things were fine, but even though we were living in a different city, his parents continued interfering in our lives. They demanded a monthly financial share from us, despite knowing we were settling into a new city with our own expenses and responsibilities. When they visited us in February 2025, their behavior toward both of us was extremely disrespectful. In March 2025, a major fight happened. His parents told my husband that he was no longer their son. They demanded the return of my Mangalsutra and even threatened to sell the jewelry that they were holding. At that point, my husband and I stopped speaking to them because the fights continued non-stop over phone calls. I believed this was a difficult phase that we would overcome together. We had plans to move to the UK in September 2025 for career growth. My husband took 13 lakh from my father and also took a loan in my name to cover visa costs, flights, and accommodation. Most of the UK expenses were already paid using that loan. In July 2025, his parents suddenly apologized. Since our flight was approaching and it was from Delhi, we decided to stay at their Delhi home for a few days before leaving, hoping to rebuild peace. That decision changed everything. The very next day after reaching their house, my husband disappeared for the entire night. The following morning, he tore his visa and announced that he would not go to the UK, would not return the 13 lakh taken from my father, and would stay with his parents in Delhi. I had my own independent visa, but this happened just 3 days before departure. I was mentally unprepared to move abroad alone for the next 3 to 4 years. In shock and fear, I decided to stay back, hoping to save the marriage. What followed was the most traumatic phase of my life. I faced emotional, financial, and career shock all at once. During one severe emotional breakdown, I raised my hand on him once, something I deeply regret and apologized for. But from that moment onward, my husband started physically and mentally abusing me repeatedly. His family supported him completely and justified his actions. He told me openly that this was his nature and that he would never change. I stayed in that environment until December 2025, enduring continuous abuse and constant interference. During this time, my husband started giving his entire salary to his parents again. He stopped speaking to my parents completely. He purchased a car in his mother's name and invested some of the 13 lakh into fixed deposits in his own name, money that was originally taken for our UK plans and loan obligations under my name. Eventually, I could not take it anymore. I returned to my parents' home. Now, my husband threatens me with divorce over phone calls. I cannot understand how his behavior changed so drastically. I strongly feel that once he returned to his parents' home, he was heavily influenced and manipulated. In that environment, reconciliation feels impossible. I am emotionally exhausted, financially affected, and deeply confused. I don't know whether to continue hoping for change or to accept that the man I married is no longer the man I believed in. All I want to know now is this: what steps should I take next? Should I file a legal case to recover my financial losses? Is it wrong to protect myself when love, respect, and safety are no longer present. I never imagined my marriage would turn into this, and I am still trying to understand how everything fell apart so quickly. Now that you've heard from her, stories like this raise difficult questions about trust, family interference, financial accountability, and personal safety in marriage. We want to hear from you. If you were in her place, what would you do next? Is reconciliation possible when abuse and financial manipulation are involved? Where should one draw the line between saving a marriage and saving oneself? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments. This is the Untold Gist, where real people share real stories and real conversations begin.